Darlins, and welcome to this episode of the Wee Darlin Garage. Today we are going to be removing our stock plastic bumper, and we are going to be replacing it with a steel Metalcloak rear bumper for this 2021 Jeep Gladiator. So let's go ahead and get started. Some of the tools that we're going to need today is to take it apart. You are definitely going to want a deep socket 16 millimeter, okay? That is going to be your saving grace. And then you're also going to need a 13/16 to get your stock tow hook off. And that's just going to be to take things off. You're going to need completely different tools and accessories to get everything on. I personally am just Armstronging it to get it on, and I'm going to be using a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch socket so I can do both sides and get double tightness. And some of the tools that we're going to need to get this installed, you're definitely going to want two 19, or if you have an open end wrench, you're going to want two 19 millimeter sockets, deep well for the inside, and this will be for the outside. You are also going to, I have an extra shorty 19 should I need it. You will need a 22 millimeter socket if you are going to replace your stock tow hook, which I highly suggest with these recovery mount hooks that have a closed loop that you can put a D-ring into, potentially get a soft shackle in there, but I would just say with a D-ring, but you will need a 22 for these lovely beasties to put that on. The nice thing that I'm going to show you later about replacing these is it's much easier to get on around the bumper and installing these than this stock hook. It's kind of a pain. So I highly suggest upgrading to the Metalcloak closed-ended recovery points. And I have two of those to put on. Other than that, we are going to also need, for the license plate holder to be installed, you're going to need a 5/32 Allen wrench. Socket set is nicer to use, and then of course a 5/16 nice big boy for a couple of bottom screws that we're going to do. And then of course we're going to use our provided hardware for the bumper to be installed. So let's go ahead and get the disassembly going. Okay, as you can see, I have already taken off the license plate to reveal two of the bolts that we're going to be taking apart. There are 6 bolts holding this specific bumper together. Depending on the package that your Gladiator has, whether it's a Rubicon or whatnot, is going to depend upon all the different areas that it's attached to. So when you look at the instructions online for the Metalcloak bumper, you may see some steps that may not pertain to your exact bumper. So use the noggin, look around, see how it's attached to your frame, and go from there. Like I said, you're going to need that deep well socket. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking the bolts out so that we can get this bumper off of here and continue going. And also we're going to take this part out, and then we're going to get this recovery hook off because of the way that it is attached. You will not need this hardware again, so you can just set it aside, put it in your bolt bucket, wherever it goes. All right, we have Ace helping us. So now we're going to take that 3/16 and we are going to gently pull back a little bit, if at all possible, in here. And you're going to have to be very careful and jimmy around in here to get onto these bolts in here and to get them out, because this will only slide out so far. And once you get both of these big bolts out, you should be able to slide this guy out. We're gonna set him aside. All right. Then once all of that is apart, we're gonna go ahead and remove that. So you can also see I've removed the toe plug already, and we'll show you what we did with that. But in the meantime, get rid of this guy. All right, now that we have the plastic bumper removed and we have our tow hook removed, the next thing that we are gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and install our Metalcloak closed-end recovery points, because they will actually go, the bracketry will actually go through on the base plate. So that's actually really nice because it's kind of a pain to reinstall the other hook in between the base plate of the rear bumper. So I also have taken apart the license plate light relay for the electrical, and this is still hanging out here, which we will plug back in and get taken care of after bed. So we'll go ahead and get this part done. You will need the 22 for this one. Have in your socket. All right, on to the next steps. All right, once we have these recovery points installed, we're gonna go ahead and put our main plate, base plate on here. As you can see, I have already installed the tow electrical plug. We already have our license plate lights installed here, and we already put our license plate on with our bracketry. We used our 5/32 in here and got it nice and tightened down. Holes were already there. Phillips had screwdrivers for those. Nice thing about the updated kit is you do have two lights, which you have two lights from the stock in the back, so those connect nicely instead of having to choose one and put it on top here. And I'm just gonna spin this around and show it to you. This is a nice big piece of steel here, so watch your toes. So you've got your lovely connector butt here in the back. Now you had two choices in the kit. You had bullet connectors or butt connectors. We just did the butt connectors. You have lots of playroom here, and this will plug back into here. So once we get everything back in, we're gonna go ahead and zip tie these so it's nice and held up tight to this little plate here, because that doesn't come off. We also are gonna finagle these holes here around our recovery points. And then we're gonna go ahead and install with a couple of bolts and our end caps and plug in our electrical, and we'll be set. So here we go. Okay, so like I said, it's gonna be a little bit goofy for a moment while we get this all squared away. We will worry about our electrical in just a minute. We do want to make sure that the electrical goes behind that bar. That guy's just gonna sit there for a minute. And then we're gonna go ahead and use our supplied hardware and get our end caps on. I highly suggest you start putting a couple of bolts on both sides of the end caps and get them both started so that this will stay stationary and not wiggle around on you. So we'll go ahead and do that. As you can see, for my bumper specifically, that mounting bracket here, I have nothing down here, which some of the Rubicon Gladiators have the rear corner extra protection back here that's metal, or if you have other aftermarket products, I don't. So the main bolts that are going to keep this connected to my actual bumper are right here. Everything else is to keep the end caps together. So we're gonna go ahead and get that bolted down and keep going. So what I've just done is I've taken this carriage bolt here, and it has a square top, which is how it just stays stationary in there. And you just kind of wiggle it through underneath your tailgate there, plop it in the hole, and it'll go right down. Get that nut on there. And everything is just finger tight right now. We're gonna go ahead and tighten it all down. And this guy here, oh, it's on there. Ah. This guy here is where we're gonna use that really big Allen key to tighten that down. But for now, we can go ahead and just get it finger tight in there. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and tighten everything down, and we'll get on to plugging in the final electrical, and we're done. It's that fast. All right, now that that part's done, we're just gonna hop under there, connect that electrical. We're all set. Always tie your hair up if you're on a creeper. Creepers eat hair. All right, we're just gonna zip tie a couple of things, and there you have it. All right, thanks for watching We Darlin Garage. We've got our bumper installed. We've got our recovery points, which are way better than the stock hook, easier to install. It's a super easy, quick install once you know what you're doing. Hopefully you watched the video before you installed yours. Like I said, depending on your package of your Gladiator, you might have some other areas that need to be connected, including electrical if you have those proximity sensors for your backup, and also if you have the extra protection back here with the Rubicon package, potentially a couple of other packages as well. Mine is a Sport, doesn't have that. It is secure, ready to go, and we're gonna go hit some trails. We'll see you next time on We Darlin Garage. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys!